Speaker, members, we have an opportunity to consider the shame, embarrassment, and labeling of children across the state who have their lunches taken from them. We are asking that school boards adopt a grace period of whatever time they would like, and during that time, the child will be given.
Mr. Stickland, for what purpose?
Yield for a question.
Does the gentle lady yield?
If you'll let me finish laying it out, I'd be happy to.
Just 1 minute.
The school district would adopt a grace period. It could be 1 day or whatever time period the board chooses. And during the grace period, we would ask that the child be given a lunch and that the child's parents be contacted so that we could determine why that child has no money in their lunch account. Right now, as many of you know, what is happening across our state, little kids go through the cafeteria line, get to the cashier, discover they have no money in their accounts. Their lunches are taken from them, thrown in the trash, many times in their faces, and they are given a small, cold lunch. So, yes, Mr. Speaker, I do yield.
Representative Giddings, this thing that you're working on here, trying to put on, has been pretty contentious so far this session, has it not?
It has been, primarily by you, sir.
And one of the things that you said that is incorrect, and I ask you to reconsider it, is you said it gives them the ability to create this policy. When in fact, Mrs. Giddings, the way that your amendment is written is a mandate. They can't choose, you're telling them they have to. Is that not correct?
Let me answer that in two different ways. Number one, if I indicated that it was a may, it is not a may. What I said was up to them was how many days in that grace period. It could be 1 day or it could be 2 weeks.
But they have.
I am asking every school district with this amendment to adopt a grace period. Now, in terms of the mandate, Mr. Stickland, that is a word we use here on this floor when we want to bring out red meat, red flags. It's kind of like somebody saying ghost. Everybody runs away. This is not about any of that. It's about hungry children and our taking care of the hungry children of Texas.
Is it not against the law right now to take a hot meal from someone that is on free and reduced lunch right now?
We are not talking about free and reduced lunch.
That's exactly my point. And Representative Giddings, I've been disappointed in all the media, all the stuff that's been going on here, because it's been represented that people who are opposed to your mandate on local schools are somehow against kids who can't afford a lunch. This has nothing to do with free or reduced lunch kids at all. They already are given that grace period, and that's mandated in federal law, is it not?
I can't imagine who on this floor
and Representative
doesn't know
Giddings,
that.
We're not talking about...
And sir, you don't need to raise your voice with me, please, because I'm not afraid.
Representative Giddings, the things that have been said in regards to this bill have blown my mind. Did we not work together the other day to bring attention to this and change it to a may, which is the same language that you used just a few seconds ago? Did we not just do that the other day?
I am asking in this amendment, every school district shall adopt a grace period.
Shall adopt. But I want to be clear about a couple of things. Not one kid goes today in Texas public schools without a lunch, correct?
That's totally wrong.
No, ma'am. They may not be a hot lunch like you are preferring in what you're dealing with here, but every single child is offered a lunch, no matter what. True or false?
That is not the information I've been given, but even if that's...
Representative Giddings, did you not bring up the cold lunch that they are offered with the apple and the cheese and the milk and all the other stuff? Every single child in Texas gets a lunch. And you've tried to turn this bill, this amendment, and everything else into something else, but it's not. The only thing that your amendment actually does is require local schools to do something that you want them to do. They're not prohibited from doing that right now, but you want to make them required. Now, Representative Giddings, I am a little bit heated about this, because the words that you have chosen to use on this floor and in the media in regards to eternal salvation and a
Mr.
number of other
Speaker,
things have
Mr.
been over the
Speaker,
top.
Is the back mic for questions or is the back mic for speeches?
Representative Giddings, did I not come to your desk yesterday and commend you for your press conference that you had the other day where you announced the forming and the creation of a nonprofit that will help pay down the debt of this situation all across Texas? Did I not come to you and say that this was great and exactly the way that we should handle it?
You did not come to me and say it.
Did I not come to you yesterday and say that I was going to be personally making a donation to that fund and that I would help fundraise for it personally? Did I not tell you that yesterday, Representative Giddings?
Mr. Stickland, the children I am trying to help are not looking for heroes. They're looking for some compassion and some food. And we have the ability to do that. And let me just say, let me completely answer your question, that in my mind, this was always a two-step deal. We were going to give a grace period at the schools, which I still want to do. And in addition to that, I was going to work with a nonprofit and set up an account for these kids. And by the way, we got at least $10,000. They got at least $10,000 into that account today. So it's a two-pronged approach. I see nothing wrong with us taking care of our children, because if we do not feed those children, hunger is the single greatest impediment to learning. And if we don't give those kids a lunch and it impedes their ability to learn, we are going to pay, but the price is going to be a lot higher, not just for you and Aunt, not just for us, but for
Representative Giddings,
those kids.
no one is talking about whether a kid should be fed or not. No one is talking about poor kids or economically disadvantaged kids. That's not what your bill and amendment will do. It has nothing to do with anyone that is on free or reduced lunch. It's for the other kids, because that's already in statute. And what is not in question today is this not true? Is it not true that what you're dealing with today has nothing to do with whether a kid gets a lunch or not? It has to do with the kind of lunch that you want them to have. But the way that this bill has been presented, the way that this amendment has been sold, I believe has not been true. And I will tell you that I'm very disappointed, as someone who has tried to work with you, as someone who said I will take money out of my own wallet to help solve the situation, that you continue to try and score political points on this bill. Will you bring this down right now?
I will not. What is your other question, please?
My question is, why wasn't what we came up with yesterday good enough for you? Why do you want to use the heavy hand of government to make school districts do something that they can already do, and many of them do? Why?
This is not the heavy hand of government.
This is a mandate, Representative Giddings.
It's a little bit like Ghost, and that's your opinion.
Will the lady yield for a question or two?
Mr. Rinaldi, what's your...
I will.
The lady yields.
Representative Giddings, I think I want to clear up what I think your amendment actually does. This is different than the bill you had before, actually, but deals with the same subject matter, correct?
It does.
And actually, the shall in this policy is currently in law, so it is currently a mandate to adopt a policy, correct? Like, you're not changing that part. It was before. If this passes, or if this doesn't pass, it'll still be a mandate to adopt a policy. It looks like what you're changing is, instead of the school district adopting the policy, you're putting the power in the hands of the Board of Trustees. Is that correct?
Yes, it's in the hands of the Board of Trustees.
So you're specifically taking it from the district to the Board of Trustees with this amendment, because the crossed out and underlined language would be what you're changing.
It is the Board of Trustees of the school district.
Right.
Mr. Chia raises a point of order. The point of order is well taken and sustained.
You have a good amendment.